Hello, welcome to my fight review. This is Andy Joshua versus Wladimir Klitschko. So last night, Andy Joshua finally went against Wladimir Klitschko for the IBF, WBA and IBO heavyweight titles. The build-up for this fight was obviously really big, as you would expect. Andy Joshua, the current IBF heavyweight champion, going against former heavyweight champion Wladimir Klitschko. This was at Wembley Stadium, 90,000 attendance, that's record attendance. It was a big statement for heavyweight boxing in general because a lot of people have said over the years that heavyweight sort of boxing's dying and stuff, and it's not as good as the 90s or 80s or the 60s, and it sort of lacks stuff. But I think this is one of the fights I could probably remember that actually has like hype around it and excitement, and it didn't disappoint. Andy Joshua successfully defeated Wladimir Klitschko by 11th round knockout, thus retaining his IBF belt and of course picking up WBA the WBA and IBO heavyweight titles. The fight itself was really enjoyable to watch. I mean, I personally thought it was one of the better heavyweight fights I've seen in a long while. Because if you sort of look back at Andy Joshua's career, just his career so far, of course you've got the Dillian Whyte fight back in 2015, but apart from that, I mean, there's got the Charles Martin win, but that's a couple of rounds. That wasn't really anything worth of note. I mean, yeah, it was exciting because he's finishing the fights quickly, but it's nothing to sort of really shout about. Like, I wouldn't say like, oh yeah, do you remember that Andy Joshua fight he did? No, because no one remembers him, because unless you're a real hardcore boxing fan, you're not going to remember every single fight. But I'm pretty sure now people will remember this fight because there's people who, like some of my friends and stuff, who don't even like boxing, who know what happened about the fight, or maybe watch some of the fight, or know who Andy Joshua is because of this fight. So it's gained exposure in many other ways apart from just being a boxing match. Back to the fight itself, Andy Joshua gained a lot of experience in this fight in more areas than one. It wasn't just he just gone in there beating a good champion and he's gained experience. We saw a lot of pros and cons for Andy Joshua. The cons being that his stamina does look to be suspect. People say his chin looks to be suspect as well, but I personally think Wladimir Klitschko's punch that he landed on Andy Joshua's chin for the knockdown in round 6, that was a perfect shot right on the chin. And I know it's easy to say like, oh, how many other fighters would be able to take it and stand up, but that's what the question I asked you lot. I know Klitschko's 41 years old and he's past his prime, but he's still a dangerous fighter. And how many fighters would be able to stand up to that? Of course, obviously, there's a debate, but he got up to his credit and he fought on. And this fight just gained so much excitement because of there was knockdowns, there was good boxing ability, there was drama. It didn't just end quickly like many people did sort of think. It went basically the whole distance. And Joshua was losing some people's scorecards. I thought he did lose a few rounds because from round 5 onwards, of course he got his own knockdown in round 5. Round 6 he got knocked down himself. So sort of even the scorecards, but from round 6 to about round 9, I do think Klitschko won those rounds, not comfortably. Maybe the odd round you could give him quite easily, but he was always in the fight, which is a good sign. But he did look like he was sort of not gassed out, but like his stamina was looking a bit suspect in parts. I could tell there was a few times where I thought he could have maybe followed up on a possible like opening. Maybe he didn't. Maybe he's just too tired. Maybe he's thinking of a game plan number 2. I don't know. Klitschko, to his credit, of course, got knocked down in round 6. But the problem, obviously, for him was he didn't actually follow up the knockdown, because if it was a Wladimir Klitschko of old, I do think he would have. He would have. Sorry, I lost words. He would have followed it up and actually probably got the knockout. I know it's easy comparison to make, but if he was a Klitschko from the 2011 David Haye fight, of course I think it would be a different story. I don't know if it ended knockout, but it would have been a different game plan because it's a different Klitschko. And it was good. It was a good Klitschko version, I did think as well, because I did watch the Tyson Fury fight back in late 2015, and he was very poor in that fight. Maybe because he didn't have any rest, maybe he's having injuries, but because he had a long layoff, I did think that was a very good performance from Klitschko, and it was probably his best performance for obviously for a good couple of years. But if you met to sort of last victory, which was Brian Jennings, I think, in late 2014 or 2015, and that's a long time ago for someone who's been so dominant to go without a win and be active as well. But credit where it's due, he had a good game plan. He won a fair few rounds, got knocked down of his own as well. But the problem I thought, which many people probably would agree with me as well, from the knockdown he didn't follow it up with anything significant. And of course, when Joshua got some wind back, he landed a great uppercut to Klitschko's chin, and of course from there you can just tell the energy just zapped from Klitschko's body. And when you're hurt, 9 times out of 10, unless the person is an idiot or just doesn't have the ability to see when someone's hurt and just can't finish the person, 9 times out of 10 you probably will go down again in the same round if you are hurt or you see your opponent's hurt. And he did his best. He went down 3 times in the whole fight, got up every single time to his credit. And I guess the one good factor from the fight was he didn't just get absolutely destroyed by Joshua and was just spoiled out in the ring and the fight was over instantly. He gave it all he had from rounds 1 to 11, but he come up short. For the next sort of, I guess, fights for both fighters, Klitschko, people say he should retire. I'd probably say he should retire as well, but there's a rematch clause, so I wouldn't mind seeing it again if Klitschko could sort of adjust and tweak his performance from last night, because I think he would have a better chance to beat Joshua. It's still a great fight. I personally think there's other fights that are better out there for Joshua, because obviously he's the champion, he's got the say. You've got Joseph Parker, WO champ, you've got Deontay Wilder, who was there last night and he had his thoughts and opinions on the fight. Tyson Fury, of course, is still recognised as the heavyweight champion by Ring Magazine. So if Joshua wants to be undisputed heavyweight champion and claim the major belts with the Ring Magazine, of course he's got to go against Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury. He did call out Tyson Fury after the fight. Of course, Fury has a lot of issues outside the ring at the minute. He did say the other day he's coming back, but I'm not sure if that's 110% true or not, because he's very overweight in the minute. He doesn't have obviously great shape because of the weight, so he's got to lose a lot of weight first before we can think about going back into the ring. But if that happens down the line, I think that'd be a great fight, because Fury and Joshua, 2 domestic fighters, or I guess rivals, whatever you want to call it, 2 technically champions. That'd be a great fight to see. I think they could probably top out the stadium again, Wembley Stadium. Maybe pick a football stadium or ground to maybe sort of like a similar representation of the Wembley Stadium from last night. But if he doesn't go against Fury, he's got Deontay Wilder, Joseph Parker. He has options, even the likes of Tony Bellew or David Haye. I know this sort of lower down, not really the same sort of bracket as the other champions, but he has options. So he's got not the world at his feet, but he's got other options apart from just the Klitschko rematch. I did hear WBA do want to sort out the rankings for the belts, and they might strip Joshua if he doesn't react to his mandatory quite soon. I'm not sure who his current mandatory is. I do know Shannon Briggs is fighting for the WBA regular title sometime this year. I don't know who the guy is fighting, but I do know he's fighting for that belt. So you never know, Shannon Briggs might get a title shot at Andy Joshua later on down the line. That's if Joshua keeps the belts. He might just be happy with the IBF and the RBO heavyweight titles, who knows. But it's great fight, like I said. Tune into the fight, try and watch it on a replay or something if you can, however you can. It's a great fight. And I did learn one thing about the fight last night. People might say he might be overrated still, he might be a bit underrated, but Joshua showed a lot of character and heart in that fight. He showed determination to get through a hard spell. He got up when he most needed to. He did some hard shots as well, and of course, most importantly, he dished out the telling punches. And it's not like he's beaten someone who's been at the ring for 3, 4, 5 years, and their name carries the fight. Yeah, Klitschko was out for a while, but he was training. Klitschko is a true professional, as everyone knows, and I think he deserves credit where it's due. He's beaten Wladimir Klitschko, and I think the next fight or upcoming fights will be an interesting next chapter of Andy Joshua. Like I said, check it out if you can as well. I've fully enjoyed it. So this has been my Wladimir Klitschko versus Andy Joshua fight review. Hope you enjoyed it, and see you in the next video.